Welcome to EC Electronics. This is a video on DSP previous year questions which have been asked in the KTU exams. So this is a DSP preparation for KTU exam which is happening the next month. Okay, so if you are not also writing the KTU exam, you can also use this video for your DSP preparation. Okay, so we are seeing the questions which have been asked in the 2018 DSP exam. And the question is, the first 8 points of a 14-point DFT of a real sequence are, that's a set given, and they are asking two things. First one, determine the remaining points. B, find x0 without finding the IDFT of x of k. Now this is a very common and commonly seen question in a DSP examination. I have seen this type of question in many question papers. So please, if you are going for DSP exam, please study this type of at least one question. Okay. So, this is actually based on the DFT properties. We have discussed all the DFT properties in our earlier videos, and also we have done various problems based on the DFT properties. And here in this question, what DFT property they are using is, they are using the complex conjugate property. Complex conjugate property. Okay, so even if you don't study all the DFT properties, I suggest you to study this complex conjugate property and some other important properties at least before going for your exam, in order to get a pass mark at least. Okay, so if you're attempting this question, means you should know the complex conjugate property. And this complex conjugate property states that DFT of x star of n, that is the complex conjugate sequence, is equal to x star of k, which is equal to x star of n minus k. This is the complex conjugate property. Now what they are given in the question, they have given the first 8 points of a 14-point DFT or a 14-point sequence. And it is also given that the sequence is real. The original sequence is a real sequence. That is, the DFT we are finding for a real sequence means you can write this x star of k equal to x star of k is equal to x of k itself. Why can we write it like that? Because for a real sequence, the real sequence DFT is equal to its conjugate, because the sequence is real, right? So we can write it like this. That is, x of k is equal to x star of k. That is, x of k is equal to x star of k. And also, just now we have written that x star of k is equal to what, according to the complex conjugate property, is equal to x star of n minus k, right? So, from this equation, you can write x of k equal to x star of n minus k. Now, if you don't understood anything, just understand this. For a real sequence, the DFT is equal to x star of n minus k. Okay, just see this very thoroughly. That is, x of k is equal to x star of n minus k. If you know this relation, you can solve the first part. Okay, so I'll remove all these things and I'll write it once again, because I only need one equation to solve. That is, x of k equal to x star of n minus k. Now, how I am teaching is that how to attempt this problem in your examination. So, for that only you need this. Now, let us look into the question once again. They have given first 8 points, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7th point they have given. Now, we need to find 8th point, 9th point, 10th point, 11th point, 12th point and 13th point. Okay, so apply the value of k from k equal to 8 to 13. That is, from 0 we are starting, right? So up to 7 they have given. So from 8 to 13 we need to find, or we need to vary the k value from 8 to 13. So first I am going to find the value of x of 8. So x of 8 is equal to x star of n minus k. N is 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. So it is equal to x star of 6. Now, in the question, they have given the values of what? X of k values they have given. Now we need to find the value of x star of 6. Means we know the value of x of 6, that is -2 minus 3j is the value of x of 6. Now what is the value of x star of 6? It is the conjugate of that term. That is, if x of 6 is, I am writing it once just to make you identify. That is -2 minus 3j. Now the value of x star of 6 is equal to -2 plus 3j. That is the conjugate. Conjugate means changing the sign of your imaginary. Okay. So it is equal to -2 plus 3j. Alright. So if you practice at least one question of this type, means you can answer any question. Okay. Now x of 9 is equal to x star of 14 minus 9. What is the value of 14 minus 9? Is 5. That is x star of 5. What is the value of x star of 5? Your x of 5 is 6 plus 3j means your x star of 5 is 6 minus 3j. Alright. What is the value of x of 10? X of 10 is x star of 14 minus 10 is equal to x star of 4, which is equal to -2 minus 2j. Okay, x of 4 is -2 plus 2j. So x star of 4 is -2 minus 2j. Now x of 11 is equal to x star of 14 minus 11, that is equal to x star of 3, which is equal to 1 plus 5j. Now we have obtained till the value x of 11. Now x of 12 is equal to x star of 14 minus 12, that is x star of 2, which is equal to 3 minus 4j. So this is a very simple question. If you know the method, means you can score full mark. Now x of 13 is x star of 14 minus 13, that is x star of 1, that is equal to -1 minus 3j. So these are the points. Okay. X of 8, x of 9, x of 10, x of 11, x of 12 and x of 13. So in order to solve this question, you should know this relation that x of k is equal to x star of n minus k for a real valued sequence. Now we have completed the first part of this question. Let us see what is the next part they are asking. Okay. Find x0 without finding IDFT of x of k. Okay, so without finding the IDFT, find the value of your x of 0. X of 0 is actually the first input point. So what is actually x of n? X of n, that is the IDFT equation. What is your IDFT equation? That is 1 by n. I am writing the IDFT equation. Sigma k equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k, which is your DFT, into e raised to plus j 2 pi k n by capital N. Okay, so this is your equation to find the IDFT. Now they are asking the value of n is equal to 0. That is, they are asking the value of x of 0, but they are asking that you should not do IDFT. So just substitute the value of n is equal to 0 in this equation. Is equal to 1 by n sigma k equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k e raised to j 2 pi k into 0 by n. So e raised to 0 will come. What is the value of e raised to 0? It is equal to 1. So into 1. That is, this term will go. So the remaining is just a summation of k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 till x of k. Right. So I'm telling you how to attempt this question. That is, now you know the value of n, right? So that is 1 by 14 sigma k equal to 0 to 14 minus 1 is 13 x of k. Now you have your entire x of k because they have given the 8 points, and in the first part you have found the remaining points also. Now what you need to do is just take the sum of all those points. That is, in this summation they are summing from k is equal to 0 to 13 all your DFT points, right? So take the sum of all your DFT points. Simply add all the DFT values and then divide by, sorry, this is a 14. Then divide by 14 and then you will get your x of 0. So this is how you have to do this question. You need not find the IDFT to find x of 0. Just take the sum of all your DFT points. I am telling to find all the DFT, to find the sum of all the DFT points till your last point, because it is a 14-point sequence. Okay, so in the first part we are finding the remaining points also. So you can find the sum of all the points and then divide by 14, that is n. I'm not telling that the n will be various values for different questions. So for this question the value is 14. So for a different question it can be different. And then what you have to do is divide the sum of DFT points by the n. N is the length of your sequence. And then you will get your x of 0. So this is how you have to do the second part of your question also. Find the direct form 1 and direct form 2 realization of y of n equal to x of n plus 1 by 2 x of n minus 1 plus 3y of n minus 1 minus 2y of n minus 2. So all the realization, that is direct form 1, direct form 2, cascaded form, parallel form, transposed direct form 2, and also the realizations of FIR filters are very, very important if you are going for DSP exam. So we have done the videos of direct form 1, direct form 2 also, and the cascade form realization video we will be uploading tomorrow. Okay, so in this question I'll tell you how to do this this problem or this question, and how to solve the method I'll tell you. Okay, and I'll share the direct form 1 and direct form 2 realization videos in the description box. Okay, so this is your equation for your y of n, right? Now you need to identify whether it is a FIR filter or a IIR filter. How can you identify it? The output is depending on the current input x of n, the previous input, and also the previous output, means such a filter is called a IIR filter. If it was an it was a FIR filter, means the output is depending on the present and the past inputs only, not on the past outputs. So this filter is a IIR type of a filter. Now you need to do the direct form 1 and direct form 2 realization of IIR filter. First we will talk how to do the direct form 1 realization. That is the method to do direct form 1 realization. In direct form 1, what you are doing is you are having a y of n, right? So this is your y of n. So what you need to do is first take the x of n terms together and take an intermediate variable w of n. Okay, so this is your intermediate variable which is representing the equations for your x of n terms. And then first realize this w of n, that is y of n. You can write it as w of n plus 3y of n minus 1 minus 2y of n minus 2. Now first you need to realize this w of n, then couple that realization with the rest. Okay, then you have to realize this much and then club both. So that is the method of doing your direct form 1 realization. I'll simply tell you how to do it by drawing this x1 part. Okay, so there is an x1 part. There is a x of n. Then z raised to minus 1 is there. Then it will be x of n minus 1, right? So this is a x of n minus 1. X of n minus 1 is multiplied with a weight of half. And add these two. Then you will get your w of n, because we have taken these two terms together as w of n. Now this w of n plus, there is a y of n in the output side. Okay, then there is a z raised to minus 1. You will get y of n minus 1. Then again if you delay it, you will get y of n minus 2. Now, y of n minus 2 is multiplied with minus 2. And y of n minus 1 is multiplied with 3. Then add this with this. And again add these two with, I'll put the summa here, with your w of n, and that is your y of n. So this is the answer for your y of n for your direct form 1 realization. Now in the direct form 1 realization, you need not take the transform or anything. Just take the x of n parts together as w of n and then realize. Okay, so this is the realization for direct form 1. But in the direct form 2, you need to take the transform, that is a transform. Okay, so the direct form 2 is a little bit complicated. And I have done a detailed video on direct form 1 realization. So if you found this difficult to understand, just watch that video. I'll share the link in my description box. Okay. Now we are going to do the direct form 2 realization. In the direct form 2 realization, first you need to take the transform, that is a transform. If you take the is a transform of y of n, you will get y of z. Y of z is equal to x of z plus 1 by 2 z raised to minus 1 x of z. That is x of n minus 1 z transform is z raised to minus 1 x of z plus 3 z raised to minus 1 y of z minus 2 z raised to minus 2 x of z. Okay, take the x of z terms to one side and y of z terms to other side. I am taking this y of z terms to this side and take y of z as common. Y of z into, I am doing both things at single step. Okay, so 1 minus 3 z raised to minus 1 plus 2 z raised to minus 2. This is actually y of z. Okay. Equal to x of z into 1 plus 1 by 2 z raised to minus 1. Okay. Now, y of z into this term and x of z into this term. You got right. Now take y of z by x of z. You will get 1 plus 1 by 2 z raised to minus 1 by 1 minus 3 z raised to minus 1 plus 2 z raised to minus 2. Now write this y of z by x of z as y of z by w of z into w of z by x of z. Okay. You have split this numerator and denominator using the w of z term. That is y of z by w of z into w of z by x of z. Now take this as your numerator. Take this as your denominator. That is, I'll write it here. Y of z by w of z is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2 z inverse. Then w of z by x of z is equal to 1 by 1 minus 3 z inverse plus 2 z raised to minus 2. So this is simply splitting off your this fraction, this term. That is a numerator is taken as y of z by w of z and denominator is taken as, that is 1 by denominator is taken as w of z by x of z. Now cross multiply and take the inverse. Okay, taking the inverse means simply if you take the inverse of 1 by 2 z inverse into w of z means it will be 1 by 2 w of n minus 1. Okay, so simply taking the inverse and then you have to realize these two equations using the direct form 1 realization and then club both. Okay, so that is how you have to do the direct form 2 realization. I have explained this realization in detail in my separate video. So please watch that, how to do this realizations using the direct form 2. Okay, so that is, we are going to realize this and this using direct form 1 realization. But how can you do it? Because we need the original equation, that is the equation in time domain to do the direct form 1 realization, right? So first you need to cross multiply this and rearrange and then do the direct form 1 realization for each of these, that is for this and for this also. And then you have to club both and then you will get the direct form 2 realization. Okay, so please do watch that video on the direct form 2 realization for understanding more. Okay, so these are the 2 questions which I have included in this video, and all the realizations are 100% sure questions in your DSP exam. So if you find difficulty with filters, that is designing of filters with Butterworth or using Windows, you can study these type of problems on this area, because this area, the realizations are all related and also easy to study. If you study 1 or 2 problems, means you will be able to do all the problems. Okay, that is 1 or 2 problems from each realization you should be knowing or you should study. Then you will be able to do all the realization questions, and realization questions will repeat in every question papers. Okay, so I really hope that you found this video useful. We'll see in the next video with some other questions, and until that, keep on watching, and also do subscribe to the channel for more videos, and do share these videos with all your friends who are preparing for DSP exams.